Hello students! So in this lesson, I will discuss on how to solve quadratic equation by completing the square. A quadratic equation in standard form is easily solved when its left side is factorable. But the problem arises when it cannot be factored. A different method is required for such case. One method of solving quadratic equations that works whether the equation can be factored or not is the method of completing the squares. So here are the different concepts that we must consider while using the completing the squares. So we know that the expression ax squared plus bx plus c is a perfect square trinomial if a and c are perfect square and b is twice the product of the square roots of a and c. If the equation ax squared plus bx plus c is not a perfect square trinomial, then we can set one side of the equation as a perfect square trinomial. Here is how. Step 1. If a is not equal to 1, divide both sides of the equation by a. 2. Write the equation in such a way that the terms containing the variables are on one side of the equal sign and the constant is on the other side. So later, I will discuss that is step number 2 and step number 1. Step 3. Get the half of the coefficient of x and square it. Next, add the squares on both sides of the equations. Fifth, one side must now be a perfect square trinomial. Factor that side and write it as the square of a binomial. Simplify the other side. And last, use the square root property to find the solution. So before we solve the solution of quadratic equation, let us practice first on how to make a given expression a perfect square trinomial. What will be added to each expression to make it a perfect square trinomial or PST? After that, factor the resulting trinomial. So here are the expressions that we are going to make as PST. So example number 1, x squared plus 8x. Going back to concept number 3, we need to get the half of the coefficient x. So this time, it is positive 8. Then, get half of positive 8 and square it. So we have 8 over 2 is equal to positive 4. Next, we need to get the square of 4, which is 16. Now that we have 16, we need to add that to our expression. So we have our new expression, x squared plus 8x plus 16. Next, it says that we need to factor this. So to factor that, we will have the square of x plus 4. How did you get that? We just get the root of x squared and the roots of positive 16. And since our linear term is positive, we use plus sign between x and 4. Next, example number 2. X squared minus 10x. So again, we will get the half of negative 10 divided by 2 is equal to negative 5. Then square negative 5, we will obtain positive 25. Positive 25 will be added to our expression x squared minus 10x. Therefore, we have x squared minus 10x plus 25. To factor that, we will get the square of x minus 5. Again, we just get the roots of x squared and the roots of 25. So we have x and 5 minus because the coefficient in x is negative. Next, example number 3. X squared plus 4x. Let us get the half of positive 4, which is 2. Then square 2, we will have 4. Then add 4 to x squared plus 4x to make it PST. We will have x squared plus 4x plus 4. Now, factor this expression, we will get the square of x plus 2. That's it. Next, example number 4. x squared minus 3 halves x. So this time, we have here a fraction. Still, what we did in our first, second, and third example, we will also apply it in our example number 4. So we just simply get the half of the coefficient x, which is negative 3 halves, multiplied by 1 half. So we will get negative 3/4. Now, let us square negative 3/4. We will obtain positive 9 over 16. So, in this case, we will add 9 over 16 to x squared minus 3 halves x to make it a PST. So, we will get x squared minus 3 halves x plus 9 over 16. To factor that, simply get the roots of x squared and 9 over 16. So, we will have x minus 3/4. Again, this is minus because the coefficient of x here is negative. Last example, 2x squared plus 13x. So, since our x squared here has a numerical coefficient, we need to divide the term of the expression by 2. So, we will get 2x squared over 2 plus 13 over 2x. So, this time, this will be our new expression. X squared plus 13 over 2x. Applying the same process, we get the half of coefficient x, which is 13 over 2, multiplied by 1 half, we will get 13 over 4. So, the square of 13 over is 169 over 16. Now, add 169 over 16 to our expression to make it PST. So, we will have x squared plus 13 over 2x plus 169 over 16. So, to factor that, we will obtain square of x plus 13 over 4. That's it. So, that is how we make a given expression a perfect square trinomial. So, this time, we will now move on solving quadratic equation by completing the square. So, example number 1, solve x squared plus 6x plus 8 is equal to 0 by completing the square. So, let us start with the given. Square plus 6x plus 8 is equal to 0. In concepts number 2, we need to rewrite the equation in such a way that the terms containing the variables are on one side of the equal sign and the constant is on the other side. So this time, the variable is at the left side while the constant term is at the right side. So, we need to make the left side a PST. So, this one. Like what we did in our first activity, we will simply do the same process in which we are going to make this one a perfect square trinomial. So, let us get the half of 6 because 6 is the coefficient of x. So, 6 divided by 2 is equal to 3. Next, get the square of 3. So, we have 9. So, meaning, we need to add 9 to the both sides of the equation. So, we will get x squared plus 6x, that's it, plus 9 is equal to negative 8 plus 9. So, this time, we need to factor the left side and simplify the right side. So, the factor of this one will be the roots of x squared and the roots of 9. So, we will have x plus 3 squared is equal to negative 8 plus 9 is equal to positive 1. So, this time, we will now apply the square root property. If we extract the roots for the square of x plus 3 and 1. So, I will have x plus 3 is equal to positive negative 1. So, to get the value of x, we need to have x plus 3 is equal to 1 and x plus 3 is equal to negative 1. So, let's start with this. We need to apply addition property of equality. So, we will get x is equal to 1 minus 3. And 1 minus 3 is equal to negative 2. Therefore, our first solution is negative 2. Next, x plus is equal to negative 1. Again, applying addition property of equality, we will obtain x is equal to negative 1 minus 3. Negative 1 minus 3 is equal to negative 4. Therefore, the solution to the equations are negative 2 and negative 4. Next, example number 2. Solve x squared minus 4x is equal to 12. In this case, we don't need to rewrite it since the variable is already at the other side while the constant is in another side. So let us just simply make the left side a perfect square trinomial. The coefficient of x is negative 4. So let us get the half of negative 4, which is equal to negative 2. Now, square negative 2, we will obtain positive 4. Add positive 4 to the both sides, we will obtain x squared minus 4x plus 4 is equal to 12 plus 4. This time, let us factor the left side and simplify the right side. So, the factor of this is x minus 2 squared, while 12 plus 4 is equal to 16. Now, we already factored and simplified the other side. Let us now extract the roots of the both sides. So, we get x minus 2 is equal to positive negative 4. With this, we will get x minus 2 is equal to 4 as well as x minus 2 is equal to negative 4. Applying addition property of equality, isolate x here, we will obtain x is equal to 4 plus 2. And 4 plus 2 is equal to 6. Okay, let us move on with the other side. Applying addition property of equality, we will have x is equal to negative 4 plus 2. And negative 4 plus 2 is equal to negative 2. Therefore, the solutions to the equations are positive 6 and negative 2. Let us move on with our third example. Solve 3x squared minus 2x minus 6 is equal to 0. Move negative 6 to other side. So we have 3x squared minus 2x is equal to 6. Since we have here coefficients for x squared, we need to remove it. So, meaning, we need to divide the expressions by 3. So, we have x squared minus 2/3 x is equal to 2. Getting the expression x squared minus 2/3 x, we need to get the half of coefficient negative 2/3. So, negative 2/3 times 1/2 is equal to negative 2 over 6 or negative 1 over 3. Getting the squares of negative 1 over 3, we have 1 over 9. So, add 1 over 9 to both sides of the equation, we will obtain x squared minus 2/3 x plus 1/9 is equal to 2 plus 1/9. This time, let us factor the left side and simplify the right side. So, we have square of x minus 1/3 is equal to 19 over 9. Extract the roots for the both sides. We have x minus 1/3 is equal to square root of 19 over positive negative 3. So this let us get the value of x by having x minus 1/3 is equal to square root of 19 over 3. And x minus 1/3 is equal to negative square root of 19 over 3. Let's start with this. Applying addition property of equality, simply transpose negative 1/3 to the right side. We have x is equal to 1/3 plus of 19 over 3, or x is equal to 1 plus square root of 19 over 3. Next, transpose negative 1/3 to the right side. So we get x is equal to 1/3 minus square root root of 19 over 3. In simplest form, we have x is equal to 1 minus square root of 19 over 3. Then, that is the solutions for 3x squared minus 2x minus 6 is equal to 0. Let us have our last example. Solve for 4x squared plus 5x is equal to 6. In case, since already constant term is already separated to our variable, we simply divide the terms by 4. So we have our new equation, x squared plus 5 over 4x is equal to 3 halves. Getting the expression x squared plus 5 fourths x, let us get the half of 5 fourths. So we have 5 over 8. The square of 5 over 8 is equal to 25 over 64. So this time, add 25 over 64 to our new equation. So we got x squared plus 5 fourths x plus 25 over 64 is equal to 3 halves plus 25 over 64. So this time, we will factor the left side and simplify the right side. So we have that square of x plus 5/8 is equal to 96 over 64 plus 25 over 64. Therefore, I have square of x plus 5/8 is equal to 121 over 64. Now let us apply the square root property. We have x plus 5 over 8 is equal to positive negative 11 over 8. So let us get the values of x by simply using addition property of equality, in which x here will be isolated. So we have x is equal to positive 11 over 8 minus 5/8, and x is equal to negative 11 over 8 minus 5/8. Then 11 eighths minus 5 eighths is equal to 6 eighths, which is also equal to 3 fourths. Next, in this, negative 11 eighths minus 5 eighths is equal to negative 6 eighths, which is also equal to negative 2. Therefore, the solutions for 4x squared plus 5x is equal to 6 is 3 fourths and negative 2. Just remember the steps on how to use completing the squares in solving quadratic equation. First, if a is not equal to 1, divide both sides of the equation by a. So that is what we did in example number 3 and 4. Next, rewrite the equation in such a way that the terms containing the variables are on one side of the equal sign and the constant is on the other side. So get the half of the coefficient of x and square it. Add the squares on both sides of the equation. One side must now be a perfect square trinomial. Factor that side and write it as the square of binomial. Simplify the other side. And last, apply the square root property to find the solution. Thank you for watching. See you again in my next video.